What is good in the hood? This is me, Yasin, and I'm back with the DDD deck profile. That's a lot of Ds, a lot of Ds indeed. Am I pro with this deck? I am not. This is why your guys' comments will seriously help a lot of people here. Not only just me, everyone else watching this video. I was trying to get all of your feedback in the live stream. Didn't really work out too well because people were not really agreeing on common grounds. Some people were like, yeah, play this card, and some others were like, no, this card is garbage, don't play it, play this instead. No, it's not good, play that. Okay, it's hard to listen to feedback sometimes, but at the same time, maybe if it's like comments on a video that I already did, it's going to be a bit better. So now I actually do have a starting deck list, so I do believe that it will help people quite a lot for, you know, a good starting point. But again, this is just for reference. I could be mistaken, and if I do, please make sure you actually let us all know. So before this deck profile starts, make sure you like and subscribe, please, 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 with a pancake on top. And now let's get into this deck profile. So I'm playing 1-0 King Rage, and none of its effects are super relevant, but it is a skill 0, and the first time that you would take effect damage, you do not. So if you're scared of dying in time, don't worry, 0 King Rage is not only your skill 0, so you can pendulum summon Kepler, but also the way you do not die. And dying is bad because when you die, you stop being alive. We are playing 2 Ragnarok. People did tell me that 3 was way too much. Now, one cool thing about Ragnarok is that, yeah, sure, it's a good card to skill, but it's also a good card to special summon because when it is summoned, you revive back any DDD monster, triple D, from your graveyard. If I recall correctly, oh my god. Basically any DDD monster except itself, which is really nice. So 2 is, I think, fine, it's respectable. You are playing the pure DD package, deck, without the Needle Fiber and DD Ghost and all those other cards, so I think this is fine. 1 Thomas, this card is nice at turboing out Kali Yuga, which is ridiculously overpowered when you're going second, but going first, Kali Yuga-ing yourself is kind of sketch, so I don't know about that, but it has a pretty neat effect in the scale. You can recycle back a DD Pendulum monster from your extra deck once per turn, so when you scale off your, when you link off your Kepler, you get to recycle back next turn, and you kind of have to, you have like a back-to-back follow-up every single time with Thomas, so it's a good card overall. Apocalypse is kind of like a BLS in a way in the skill, which is relevant because a lot of the cards in the skill, they kind of don't really do anything. Like Griffin, Copernicus, whatever in the skill, they're not great, but this at least you can banish 2 DD monsters from your graveyard, special summon it from your Pendulum Zone, and I do not believe that the monster effect is relevant, but it is a level 7, so 7 plus 1 equals 8, so tuner monster, non-tuner. You can make the Siegfried with Apocalypse, so it's pretty nice. And we are also playing Vice Typhoon. I mean, yeah, it's obviously overpowered. It's probably just as good as Necro Slime, if not maybe sometimes better, because it's already that level 5 or higher monster, so you can turn it into DDD Flame Hiking Genghis. But that's, I think, the only monster that you actually get to summon with the Vice Typhoon, because it has to be a triple D, and you can't summon the triple D Flame King Genghis because it has to be level 8 or higher, and obviously King Dark is only level 7. I do believe you think you should be able to summon the Caesar Ragnarok, but you would need like another DDD monster in the graveyard. A little tricky, but it's doable. And we are of course playing the Cerberus, which allows the Kepler to become level 4, so you can start making the rank 4, and then make the rank 5 link and get all of your effects. If you haven't watched my combo video, make sure you do, because I think it's going to help you out quite a lot. But anyways, 2 Baphomet, which again is another level modulator card, very similar to Cerberus, but it has to be on the field this time, like as a monster, where Cerberus, it's the skill effect that matters. Even the pendulum effect is like, well, the monster effect is kind of relevant. If it's pendulum summoned from the hand, while you control a DD monster other than itself, you can recycle back a continuous spell card from your grave. Not even a Dark Contract necessarily. You could be recycling back True Draco Heritage. That's kind of cute, or like Summoning Curse. But yeah, it's never gonna come up. You're always going to be recycling back your DD, Dark Contract, sorry. They're not even DD cards. Only this card, shockingly enough, is a DD and not even Dark Contract. But the continuous cards are the Dark Contracts. Anyways, 3 copies of DD Griffin, which is arguably the better monster in the deck right now, with Kepler, of course. Copernicus is almost as good as Kepler, but Griffin it's too good. It's just, I honestly have nothing bad to say about the card. Everything about its monster effect is ridiculously good. If you control a DD monster, you can special summon it from the hand for free once per turn. If it's pendulum summoned, you get to discard 1 DD card from your hand, draw 1 card, and if it's revived back from the graveyard, search for a DD or Dark Contract. Sorry, Dark Contract, I don't believe so. Only a DD card from your deck to your hand. Very, very fantastic card overall. Of course, we're playing the 1 DD Orthros, which is a level 4 tuner. On the scale, scale, it kind of has a similar effect as Archfiend Eccentric. The monster effect is actually an effect from the hand when you take battle or effect damage, which actually can come up turn 1. You can take effect damage if you burn yourself with Ragnarok, for example. You get to special summon itself from the hand, but you are locked under Fiend monsters, which isn't relevant because we are playing the pure DD deck, so no Needle Fiber plays and stuff like that, so it's all good in the hood. And then 3 Copernicus, 3 Swirl Slime, no brainer here. They're so ridiculously good. 2 Necro Slime, I do believe that 2 is enough. Maybe 1 is enough. Whatever, I'm open to debates on this one. 2 Lamia, some people also think that 3 is good. Some people think 1 is enough. So I think 2 is maybe kind of like a good middle ground. 3 Kepler, that's like a no-brainer. It's way too good. The effect to search a Dark Contract is on normal or specialed, and it's a pendulum monster, so you can pendulum summon it back with your Zero King Rage. So great card. Allure of Darkness is that one card that I'm not really sure of. I was thinking maybe play 2 Allure and then 0 Upstart, or like, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter too much, but these are just like flex spots. So if you disagree with like the non-engine related cards, just play whatever works for you. Like if at your locals, you need a hand traps to go second, play a hand traps. I'm not telling you not to play a hand traps, but use your brain basically when you deck build. Don't just like copy a deck list just because you think I'm worth copying deck list from. As I said, I do make mistakes. This is not the first time that I make a deck profile that I'm honestly not convinced at like 100%. I think I have like a good starting point, but that's pretty much it. 1 for 1, this summons the Kepler, so no brainer. Tactic Talents, when you are going first and you get hand trapped, you get to either dig for more cards, which is good because the deck does have a lot of special summon extenders. You don't rely on your normal summon that much, which is something that I really do appreciate. Or when your hand is already good, you get to knock off your opponent's other hand traps, so you get to resolve your Gilgamesh 100% confirmed. And when you do, you kind of just win the game. This card is ridiculously overpowered. Upstart, Foolish Burial, which, yeah, the Foolish doesn't have to be Foolish. It could also kind of be something else. I think this is a bit redundant sometimes, but again, I'm open to just discussions and stuff. Call by the Grave follows kind of like the same logic as Tactic Talents. At the same time, I don't know if it's like more or less flexible than the card. Your opponent doesn't necessarily have to hand trap you, which is the good thing. You can use it on other kind of cards, which is cool. Yeah, triple Dark Contract with the Gate, and then 1 Swamp King, 1 triple DDD Headhunt. This is like a crackdown that steals for like the rest of the next turn, and it transforms it into a triple D monster as well, so you can actually turn it into the Machina, which is really nice. And then Eternal Darkness, of course. So that's it for the main deck. Honestly, for the most part, like I said, it should be okay, but there are some changes I'll probably bring in the future. I'm not aware yet. For the extra deck, I'm playing 1 Caesar Ragnarok just because I didn't know what else to play as my 15th card. Definitely do think of this as your 15th card in the extra deck, but it is cool at Outing Dragoon if your opponent already used the effect to negate. And then, of course, 1 Hiking Genghis. Now, this card is actually ridiculously good when you are comboing off turn 1 because it actually negates spells or traps, but only on your own turn, so it can actually negate Imperm, which is really, really important. Do think about this when you combo. And then 1 Oracle King Dark, its effect isn't that good, but it's level 7, so when you have your Lamia, 7 plus 1 equals 8, so you can make Siegfried. There's that, and there's also 4 plus 4, which would be probably Griffin and Orthros the majority of the time. 2 Flame King Genghis, not the High King. Now this is level 6, so you can also turn it into the card that negates Nibiru, and this is one of the main reasons why 2 is actually definitely needed. And it's, I want to say, a bit easier to summon than the High King Genghis sometimes, but not all the time. Siegfried, of course, double Machina, Kali Yuga, great going second. Going first, you could kind of play it against trap decks as well. They usually scoop to your board anyways, but I mean, screw it. And of course, Wave King Caesar with the King Tail. Wave High King Caesar and Wave King Caesar. Man, they have the same name, but they're just high, okay? I'm gonna get demonetized now. Alright, Gilgamesh, and that's pretty much it for the main and extra deck. Now for my idea section, this is a mess. So Puppet Master, shoutouts to Jesse Flores. Some people already knew about the card, but it's kind of obscure. This card has to be tribute summoned for its effect to be relevant, so if you don't want to play it, don't play it. Night Howl is also a card that only triggers on normal summon, so if your normal summon has to be Copernicus or Kepler, these cards are just sitting in your hand doing nothing. That's why I'm not a big fan. And I'd rather play extenders than play hand traps, so that's why I'm not main decking any. And DD Ghost is only playable, I think, if you play Needle Fiber. Otherwise, it doesn't really do anything that actually helps you. Droll is following the same logic. This is already played. Satellite Warrior with Formula Synchron Needle Fiber. Now, Zeus is actually a card that I would like to play, but I am locked under DD monsters very fast because of Gilgamesh, so it's not gonna work out too well. And finally, the virus cards are nasty in DDD. All of your monsters are dark. Well, the majority of them, like the High King Genghis and the regular Genghis, are not dark, for example. And these cards are also water, the Caesar and stuff, so you can't use them, but you can use the majority of the other other cards out there. Like it takes like 2 seconds to summon a Machina, literally 2 seconds. You summon any DD monster like triple D, sorry, like Gilgamesh, and then boom, you already slap it on top, and that's like Eradicator virus target. So if your opponent goes like entering battle phase, and you know that he's playing like Altergeist or Paleozoic, you just go Eradicator for chops, bye bye. Or against Sky Striker, call spells, bye bye. Literally against the Flunderies, you go deck dev, they lose every single Flunderies monster in their hand and every single hand shop. It's not even a joke. I'm actually being serious. It's hilarious. And this card is Royal Decree. Yeah, it's a searchable Royal Decree, which is very fair, Jeffrey or Michael. I don't know if your name is Jeffrey or Michael. It has to be one of the two, except if it's not. But that's pretty much it for this deck profile. Make sure you like and subscribe. Really motivates me a lot to keep existing, as I keep saying every single time. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys literally in like 2 seconds. Peace.